Good morning, beautiful people. I'm Babz Rawls-Ivy. That's Harry Jones. Welcome to LoveBabz, Love Talk, the Tuesday version. Walk me through this whole administration and how much I hate them all. So I'm gonna leave it alone. I'll just, you know what, Harry? I will save all this vitriol for November 5th.
By November 30th or something, by the time they count all the votes.
No, it's gonna be a clear winner, Harry. Even if they don't count the votes, it's gonna be enough votes where people are gonna be like, we don't even need to count.
I hope so. I hope so, Babs.
Harry, you got to keep the faith, Harry.
I hope so. Either way, I just want it to be a clear win.
I do too, Harry, because I just feel like we are in a very crazy place in this country, and it just makes me it just solidifies that, Harry, we need to get to Costa Rica or wherever we're gonna move to. We need to have a plan. Well, I'm making a plan.
That's right. Make that plan.
I can't speed it up, but I'm making a plan. So, because we got to go. We got to go, Harry. And you know what? I said, starting a guest house. And I think I said this. I like saying guest house instead of like an inn or a hotel because I love having guests. So that's a big deal for me. So Ife and I, we're doing our plan in our lives here so that we can plan our lives there. And you'll come because you'll handle all our tech.
Just
Karen will
tell,
come.
just tell Andrew that he needs to send us all GPS directions to his boat, just in case a zombie apocalypse happens and we got to take off. We need to know where that's docked.
I'll let him know, Harry. I will let him know. I was like, listen, we got a lot to contend with. The zombie apocalypse is near. Harry, the coronavirus is the precursor to the zombie apocalypse. It is. I'm convinced. This is how all the movies start, Harry. It starts with a virus that gets out of control. That first of all, people deny, right? Every good end of the world movie starts with some kind of denial of science. It's always some denial of science, whether it's the weather or the virus or the mutations, whatever. Every good movie like that starts with denial of smart people and facts.
Well, I don't know. I was listening to my conspiracy radio at night, and
Because it's only good at night.
only good at night, right? Because there's nothing good to listen to, and nothing else puts me to sleep quite like the conspiracy radio. So
Okay.
they had some scientists, if you want to take their word for it, talking about that they did an experiment um, in the sky above the clouds, and they gathered the moisture and stuff of that, and they found coronavirus in those clouds. Like they found the COVID
Yeah.
up
So
there.
why wouldn't I take their word for it?
I mean,
Scientists are not liars. They're not prone to lying.
they're on a conspiracy show.
Oh, okay. I see. Oh, so in order to make it a true conspiracy, you got to put that precursor on.
Yeah,
You got to say if you choose to believe this,
so I'm like, wait a minute. So
Harry. This
COVID's
is
getting
the
up. COVID's getting up there. What?
well. It has to. What goes up must come down, Harry.
Right, but that means it's circulating.
Yeah, that's the whole point of wearing masks so that you lessen.
Right. So you can't get away from it really if it's in the
Well,
air.
if everybody can be still and be in their spaces, you know,
I don't know. That sounded really depressing to me yesterday. I was like, what?
Harry, every good movie starts.
And if you remember, Canada had some wildlife that was going through a zombie syndrome.
Oh,
about a year and a half ago, and some people were saying that's because they're testing a virus on the animals and stuff like that.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh. You start putting all of these little conspiracies together, and you're like,
and you got a whole wardrobe. You start stitching piece by piece. Next thing you know, you got a whole wardrobe.
by the way, Canada actually has a military plan for a zombie apocalypse. So,
Everyone does, Harry.
you think we have a zombie apocalypse?
Listen, we had a plan for the pandemic, and this crazy president threw it out. A plan that Bush created. This is the plan that Bush created. He created it. He created a plan because he was so worried about, he heard the
zombies.
He heard the story about the pandemic from the 1800s and what could happen, what it could come back around again, and how the threat to us won't be guns; it'll be biological kinds of things. And so he was very moved by that and put together a team to sort of look at our
Bush.
Yes. The last President Bush, the son.
The guy who can't pronounce nuclear?
Yes. That's his gift to us.
Okay, whatever. I don't believe him.
Why, Harry? It's the most ridiculous thing, but he was so moved by that he thought, let's pull together a panel and make sure how could we survive this? How could we handle this? What could we do? And put together a team with scientists and people and came up with something in the case of this kind of thing. Because at that time this was pre-Ebola. This was like SARS, MRSA kind of stuff, right? I mean, MRSA alone, Harry, should be enough to scare the crap out of people. So he left the playbook for Obama. Obama and Biden get the playbook. They add to it, Harry, because by that time Ebola had already shown up. And you see how it was decimating the continent, right? It was going through the continent. So they were like, they took that playbook. They used some of those protocols. That's why we didn't have any Ebola in this country. We had like one case, and it got handled rather quickly. And so they added to the playbook and left it to the dummy president. And he's like, oh no, not only am I gonna throw the playbook away, I'm gonna disband the committee, and I'm gonna take us off panels around the world, and we're not gonna participate in all the other. So, and here we are, the country with the most doing the least.
Everybody who knows Harry is waiting for him to respond, but Harry's not going to respond.
No, Harry's not going to respond because Harry knows truth when he sees it. So here we are.
Yeah, but well, we'll see. I mean, if we have a zombie apocalypse, I just hope they're the slow running ones, the slow walking ones.
I know, not the Planet Z ones, Harry.
They run.
The Planet Z ones, we doomed, Harry. I'm not even gonna run, Harry. If it's the Planet Z, I'm just gonna sit there.
Well, no, I hope somebody has mercy and puts me out of my misery. I don't want to be
Who, Harry? Who's gonna? I'm not gonna shoot you, Harry.
I don't want to be a zombie.
But we could be zombies together, Harry.
We're not gonna know.
How do you know, Harry? We can make whatever we.
You get that zombie apocalypse and you just start running crazy.
And act like we crazy.
You lose each other already because you.
Hey, we can be zombies together, Harry. I'm just saying.
I don't have that faith.
Harry, you spent all this time with me and you still ye of little faith.
Are zombies in the Book of Revelation? I haven't read that part.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Maybe alongside dinosaurs on the ark. I don't.
That's another thing I was listening to.
the Bible according to the fools.
Yeah, I was listening to that dinosaurs aren't real and stuff. Uh,
Wait. So how do they account for these bones?
well,
How do they account for fossil fuels? Do they understand what fossil fuels mean?
you'll be surprised.
No, I wouldn't.
No, you'll be surprised how much time I waste listening to people's stuff. I just because I think to myself, wow, this is so stupid. I have to listen to it. I have to listen to their theory on.
Do you think that you can save them, Harry? Like if they just get some good information, you can save them?
No, I just figure I have to try to put myself in their space
Why?
to try to. I mean, how can you be that stupid, right? But they think that the devil is. They think that the devil's going around the world and hiding bones, fake bones. These big.
I like big bones and I cannot lie. Because I'm the devil and I'm here to spy.
I'm like, wow, the devil really got a lot of time. He's going around digging some dinosaur bones into the oldest places on Earth.
I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't be in a room with people like that, Harry. I damn sure couldn't listen to them because my head would fall off.
You know, for stuff like that, I actually wake up and I'll listen to 2 or 3 hours.
I couldn't do it, Harry. That would make me. I don't know how you do it. I couldn't. I can't tolerate stupidness. I just.
I'll be laying down next to Karen, listening to this stuff at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I wake up sometimes because I can't help but laugh out loud.
I know she's like, "Are you listening to that?"
Yeah, she'd be like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm sorry, I was laughing. I was laughing. You know, it's because some things are just hilarious. I mean, you hear, and then the way they believe in what they're saying, it's like,
Harry,
it's so sad but hilarious.
I don't know what listen. You need to leave them crazy people alone. For you mess around and wake up one day and start believing.
Yeah.
If you come in here talking about the world really is flat, Harry.
The world is flat. There were never any dinosaurs. Yeah, I could see that.
All right, so Harry, here's a couple of $1 million questions. If somebody had to propose to me, Harry, how do you think they should do it? Do you think I would be impressed by what would you think would be the best way to propose to me? If somebody came to you and said, "You know what, Harry, I love Babz. I'm thinking about asking her to marry me. No, I want to ask her to marry me. You know, what kind of setting what should I do? Should I put a ring in a Cracker Jack box? Should I take her to Paris? Should I take her to Detroit?
Maybe Italy, on a gondola, you know, with somebody singing opera."
That's pretty good, Harry.
That would be pretty awesome.
I kind of like that, Harry. I wasn't expecting that.
I might say yes.
You'd be like, "Babz, what are you doing? We're gonna say yes."
It's a yes. Babz be looking at you like, "What is wrong?"
Karen will look at you like, Babz can make her own decision, Harry. It's like, we're a team. So Harry, our good friend Andrew took a woman to Paris some years ago. And she thought because he was taking her to Paris that he was going to ask her to marry him. And he didn't. But come to find out, Harry, that's a real thing. Like that happens more times than not. I just read this piece the other day, or maybe it was a few weeks ago. No, it was the other day because that made me think of him. Made me think of that. if a man takes you to Paris, is that a natural assumption that he might propose? Now Andrew said he would have to like take somebody to Detroit because it wouldn't be a surprise. Like nobody would think they was getting proposed to in Detroit.
To reach you on your iPhone.
What?
The wife is attempting to reach you on your iPhone.
Okay, why is Karen trying to call you?
Well, she was texting me. She was saying that you need to find actually a beautiful place in Africa in the middle of Wakanda.
Oh, she is good.
You know, and have that person get down on their knees there. You know, but
Karen wins. That wins. That wins, Karen. I thought it was an emergency she was calling.
No, I told her to stop stalking me, but obviously.
No, she's not stalking. She's the producer of this show. Come on. She's executive producer.
Yeah.
And they ended up having a really good trip after it was all cleared up that he wasn't proposing. But that's a real thing, Harry, that has happened to a lot of people.
They had a good trip after he explained to her he just needed a travel buddy to sightsee.
You know, Andrew used to live in Paris, so I guess, you know, it's one of those things, let me show you where I used to live kind of thing. But, you know, Paris is one of the most romantic cities in the world, Harry. So that's if you date somebody and they want to take you to Paris, that is a natural assumption.
Yeah, that the relationship is moving to a different level.
So Andrew was like, it's corny. And I was like, yes, it is corny. But, you know, Andrew, I mean, you know, Harry, you need corny in these kinds of moments, right? Like romance has to have a lot of corniness to it in order for it to be romance.
So Andrew would take you to Detroit to the Tesla plant.
I didn't realize that, Harry. That might do it for me, Harry, if you take me to the Tesla plant. You're like, is he going to ask me to marry him?
Oh my God. Karen's planning out your wedding right now.
Thank you. Although, tell her, can she find me a groom too? Harry, do you think it's difficult to date somebody like me? Do you think it would be difficult? You're taking too long, Harry.
No, I'm the wrong person to ask because
you know me.
I need to know somebody, you know, completely before. So saying that it's difficult to be with anyone means that you haven't found the right one.
Wow.
Right? Because the person who falls for Babz has to love everything about Babz. So,
wow.
So it makes like, you think Karen and I are oil and water. You know, we're 2 steps forward and 2 steps back.
Oh, I never think that.
Oh yeah, we're totally opposite in everything, right?
I know, but y'all learn that dance, right? Like that's your dance.
Right, that's our dance. And that's what love is. So somebody finding it difficult to be with the genuine you, it's not the right person.
Whoa! That's good, Harry. You know what, Harry? I'm gonna write a movie, and you're gonna be like the friend with the wise friend, my wise friend, brother, co-worker guy in this movie. I'm gonna write this screenplay. You are making me write this screenplay, Harry.
I would also like to be the guy on the gondola singing, "When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore."
Oh, you can sing, Harry.
Come on, Karen's gonna laugh right now. Don't say that.
You can sing, Harry. Did you sing in a choir? That was good. It was in tune. It was in key. That was good. That's good, Harry. You've given some good pearls. So whoever is listening, if you think you got a shot, you better shoot it. You better take it.
Yes.
They better take their shot, right, Harry? Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Absolutely. And the thing is that standing on the sidelines You watch other people play the game, and you're just on the sidelines.
That's what I say, Harry. That's what I say. So you gave me something to really think about. So if somebody says that I'm difficult or hard, they're not the one. Because the right one will show up thinking, I got this. Like I know what to do here. Like I'm willing to do this. I want to do this. That's how my ex-husband got me. Because I was engaged. He was the third one to ask me. And he was the yes. You know why? Because he was very confident, Harry. He never thought I was out of his league. He never thought I wasn't too good. He never thought I was too smart. He never thought any of that. He was like, I like her. I dig her. I think she's the one for me. That's how he thought. Yeah. And he moved on it. Let me tell you something, Harry. I was seeing some other guys before I met Lawrence. I was dating this guy in Chicago who just retired from the Chicago Bulls. Just retired. Just hung up his sneakers. So I was seeing him. I was seeing this other cat that was running a very famous black magazine, not Essence, and not one that's a fashion magazine, a different kind of magazine. And I was seeing him, and then I was seeing three guys, and this other guy lived in Missouri, and he was an engineer for NASA. And I was seeing all of them, right? I was rotating them out. I'd fly to Missouri, I'd fly to Chicago, and then I'd see the other one in New York periodically. Because for me, Harry, dating is like you're just seeing all kinds of people. I wasn't one-on-one with anybody. I was just seeing people. But what set Lawrence apart from all these other men was that he was very clear and direct. And he said, I want to get to know you. I like your vibe. I think you're beautiful. And, beyond that foolishness, because I hate that mess. I hate when somebody says you're beautiful. And it's just crap. But he just cut through all the foolishness and laid out his cards and just engaged me in a way that nobody else engaged me. Do you know what I mean, Harry? Like he didn't flatter me up with stupidness. We had real conversation. I remember we had the conversation that won me over, Harry, was we were talking about what was it? The boxcar revolution in China. I think that's what it was. I think that's what it was. Yeah. Was it the boxcar? The boxcar revolution. And yes, the boxcar revolution. The Boxer rebellion. This is what won me over about Lawrence. We were talking about the Boxer uprising, the Boxer rebellion by Chinese nationalists in the 1920s. And Harry, it was as if he just told me he loved me. The conversation was so damn good. I had never met anybody who would have these kinds of conversations. And he didn't drink. So it wasn't like we was drinking and talking, just talking. And that's what I knew in that moment. I love this man. It was amazing. That was the moment right there. It was our very first date.
So it was an intellectual connection.
Yes. It wooed me. He won me. He won me.
That's pretty interesting. And the rest just, beauty's in the eye of the beholder is a true thing, right? So you hear all the time people give you compliments on beauty and this, but beauty entails so much more than what your eyes. You ever heard the I think it's a joke by what comedian that says, "Don't believe your lying eyes."
Right.
Um, I think many people believe their lying eyes when they just go for the beauty of what they see, and they don't allow themselves to grasp all of the beauty of the person. Because your eyes will lie to you if you're only going by a person's outfit, makeup, and how they look on a date.
Yeah. 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 Because see this right now, there's no makeup, there's no glamour, there's nothing. This is morning Babz. And if you think this is good, then you might have a shot. But yeah, and that's what won me. That not that I was a prize, but that's what separated him from all the other fools. Seriously. And then just the conversations after that have always been. I've Lawrence is probably one of my most favorite people to talk to, just to talk to. No, one of my favorite people to talk to. So when I heard Hillary Clinton say that about Bill Clinton, I understood what she meant. You know.
That's so funny because Karen, I think it was yesterday, that she said, you know what still, I look at Bill and Hillary, and their connection is so far beyond their attraction to each other. She said, I would love to be that fly in the room to just hear them talk,
Hmm.
just to hear them have just a normal intellectual conversation and what it sounds like. You know,
Yeah, because beauty fades. I mean, physical beauty fades.
yeah,
And no one can sustain physical beauty 24/7, Harry. I know women who used to go to bed with full makeup on because they didn't want the men they were seeing to see them without it. That's a level of ridiculousness I could never.
well, Babz, I wake up like this, flawless.
And I think as I about to jump out here and start dating again, Harry, that I have to remember the things that I'm attracted to and not be swayed by any. I'm not moved by how somebody looks. Somebody attractive is a nice thing, but that's not the thing that at the end of the day captures my heart. I prefer kindness above anything. I like people who are. I dated a man who was not kind. I remember I dated. He was the second person I was engaged to in my life, and I was engaged to him because I was so impressed by the trappings of his success. I clearly was just enamored of how he moved through the world. Um, but he was just terrible to people. I mean, he was just he was a bitch, right? He was just a world class bitch, and I'm just so glad I snapped out of that, to the point where he was like, I don't really like that outfit on you. Change. I don't like your hair like that, or I need you to look a certain way. And I think I was like 25 maybe or something, 26, and I changed. I wanted to be what he wanted. And I think everybody has those moments before we figure out who we are, right? We somebody else's version of us until we figure out who we are. And I remember, I think what broke the spell was I had said to him, "Oh, I think I might grow my hair long so I could grow dreadlocks." And he said, "No woman of mine is going to have nappy ass hair like that." And it was as if something snapped, Harry. It was as if somebody opened the door and a gust of wind came in. And it was like I saw him for the first time. And that's what made me break up with him. Like, it was like I didn't even know. It was like for like 2 years, I didn't know who he was. You know what I mean? Like, the bubble just burst. And I was just like, oh my God. And I broke up with him and I just ended it, you know. I remember thinking, oh my God, I was in a trance for 2 years.
Wow.
It was those words that just broke me out of that spell. He's like, no woman of mine is going to walk around with nappy ass hair. I remember thinking, what?
Wow. That's insane. I mean, but you're right. There are people who are superficial like that. I mean,
yes. Oh my God.
I've never understood it. You know, I'm different, by the way. I prefer to see a woman how she wakes up.
Yeah.
I think that's the natural beauty is the most beautiful thing.
But you don't begrudge women makeup though. Like, you don't say don't ever wear it. You don't care.
No, Karen is not the type that wears makeup, so she actually fit perfect for me. But no, if you wear makeup, you wear makeup. But you know, it's different. I've seen how some people, some men, act with the person they're supposed to love, but when that person is not wearing makeup, they start criticizing the person they're supposed to love.
Yeah.
It's like insane. I'm like, what is
Yeah.
wrong with? I'm like, people are just they've never understood what love is.
Yeah.
If you get to that point where you're not liking the person you're supposed to love.
Oh, let me tell you. So when I was engaged to this man, because I wasn't a fat woman. Like I wasn't always fat, right? So, and he didn't like fat women. So he was very conscious of my weight and how I looked, and he was very conscious of that. And I was a plus size model in those days. But a plus size model, Harry, was like a 12, 14.
Yeah.
Now we think of a plus size model, we're thinking 18, 20, 22, size wise, size. I'm a size 22 in a dress. So he would have broken up with me long since. Harry, he'd have broken up with me 50 pounds ago. But Lawrence was not that way. Lawrence never concerned himself with, he thought I was a good looking woman. He thought I was a very beautiful woman. He loved my teeth. I remember him saying, he's like, I've never seen anybody with teeth as white as that. He's like, your teeth are very beautiful. I was like, well, I don't do anything with these teeth. I was born with them. So I can't really take credit. I just do my best to keep them up with, brushing them and regular trips to the dentist. But that, and he liked women without makeup too. So if I wore makeup, you're beautiful. If I didn't wear makeup, you're beautiful. Whatever size I was, he didn't, he was just fine. He was like, I just like you. I don't care. You could be bigger or smaller. I just like you. He liked me. Like, he genuinely liked me. He still likes me to this day. Like, he likes me, and so so he gave me an ease about he gave me a sense of ease that I had never known before in the company of a man. And I enjoyed that very much. That he just was just cool with however way I wanted to rock. He was like, you want to wear afro? I like women with afros. You want to wear dreadlocks? I like women with dreadlocks. And he grew his dreadlocks because I was wearing dreadlocks, right? So he was a really good match for me. He was a really good choice for a husband because he spoke to all the things that I was stepping into at that time. You know, he supported all of my ambition. Um, he he liked the way I looked. We love. I had great conversations about books. We read some of the same books. We liked. Now I didn't. He liked a lot of the. He liked anime and karate movies and all that kind of stuff. Harry, I liked him too, but not at that level. Like, like okay, the 20th karate movie. After a while, it's like the first karate movie. They're like all this. They're all this.
I like karate movies too.
I do too, Harry. But you know, after the 20th one, Harry, they're the same.
I grew up with karate movies Saturday at 3 o'clock.
Yes, me too, Harry. But after a while, they are the same movie. I don't care. It's the same movie. So yeah. So I've been thinking about this. And talking with Andrew yesterday, just laughing and talking about because he said something yesterday that got on my nerves a little bit. You know, he was like, "You're so smart," and you know, when men tell me that I'm smart, that means they're not interested in me like that. And I don't mean to say he's not interested in me. I'm his friend. I stand in the friend space, but it's just one of those things. It's just a trigger for me when I hear that, like, you know, smart, beautiful. I hate that stuff.
You have
Like,
relationship PTSD.
Everyone does. Maybe I should start a support group for that, Harry. Relationship post-traumatic stress disorder. So
I have a friend who my age, well, I think 2 years older than me, and he's found a woman that he likes as people, but has broken up with them because they're 5 pounds overweight and stuff
oh
like that.
God.
Yeah, and he's pretty much a miserable person.
Well, he's gonna be miserable because if
I
that's how he's gonna break up with people,
that's what I've told him. I'm like, what is wrong with you? He goes, we connect with this or that, but she's fat. I'm like,
he's afraid, Harry. That's fear right there.
she's fat. Have you looked at her? She's not fat. She, she's too fat.
That's a fear. He has a relationship
Insane.
fear.
Insane. He's still like that. He's 53 now, and he's still like that.
Oh God, no, no.
Insane. And I told him, and he's miserable. He's a miserable person. I tell him, you're miserable because you've done it to yourself.
Yeah,
Nobody else can influence you like you.
yeah,
But
yeah,
some people are.
yeah. So I think this next time around, as I jump back out there today, Harry, I'm not going to settle. I don't think I settled earlier. I think when I hooked up with well, I did when I was in the relationship with Jamal, which was a pure nightmare. I got in a relationship with him because I've known him all my life, Harry. We grew up together. And I thought, well, and we could never really get together because we were always in different places in our lives. Always, Harry. I was trying to finish school. He was dropping out of school. I mean, it was always some foolishness. He got two different children by two different women. Do you know what I mean? Like he was always in some foolishness, and I was always doing what I needed to do. So we never had time to really, we would just like ships passing in the night, but we would connect and we were friends. And I have whole journals about him. But what I come to realize, Harry, that the friendship was really predicated on me taking care of him and getting him out of situations. And that, so when he came back into my life a decade ago, however long ago it was, and I thought he was the one. What I really wanted was because Lawrence had gotten remarried so soon after we had gotten divorced. And I just felt like I just wanted to prove that somebody wanted me and that I could be successful in a relationship. I say, I already did this work, Harry. I don't unpack that baggage, so I can. So I say this any without any duress or sadness or remorse. Um, I wanted him to fit into a slot that Lawrence had vacated, and I thought he would be more perfect than Lawrence because we had history together, and I thought we had some of the same leanings. Well, no, we did not at all, Harry. And he just berated and belittled me at every turn. And at first, I didn't recognize it. My kids saw it before I saw it. My kids saw it before I saw it. And they couldn't understand why was tolerating it. It didn't seem like tolerating to me. It just seemed like, well, we're just learning each other and we're just trying to figure out how to be in communion with each other. No, he was just a complete asshole, and he was trying to control me and bend me backwards into his thinking. And I was resisting that without even realizing I was resisting it because it just went against who I am, you know. So when that ended, it was another thing, Harry. I woke up one day and I said, you need to get out of my house. This is over. I just woke up and I said, I've had enough of this. This is not what I want. This is making me unhappy. It's making my children unhappy. Everybody's unhappy. You need to leave my house. Pack your things and get out by the end of today. And he was giving me a little pushback on that. I said, you do know who I am, and you do know who my brothers are. And then he got his stuff out and left. I hadn't talked to him since. Now he has tried to reach me, and I have told him, don't you ever contact me again. Because it was a bad relationship, Harry. It was a bad. I have never been in a bad relationship like that in my life. Where, gaslighting. Do you know what gaslighting is, Harry? And when it was happening to me, I didn't realize it was happening because I was like, surely my friend who I grew up with would never try to treat me this way because he loves me. Why would anybody who loves me treat me like this? So it was such a freakish, I didn't accept it, Harry, because I just refused to believe that he would never do that to me because he loved me. And come to find out, he didn't love me. He was just using me. And it was I think that was more painful than the gaslighting. I was insulted by the gaslighting, but I was hurt by his attempts to use me. That was painful because I thought I knew him,
Well, some people are just in the business of, breaking another person's spirit.
Yes, Harry. That's exactly what he was trying to do. He was exactly trying to break because when you break somebody's spirit, Harry, then you could build them back into what you want.
Yep. You break somebody down, in order to build them up the way you want.
That's pimp mentality, right? That's what pimps do.
Yes, that's exactly what they do, and is also exactly what domestic abusers do.
Yes.
For a living.
Yes, Harry.
They mentally break you down.
Yes.
So you have no spirit. You don't even know who you are.
Yes.
So the only thing you know is what they tell you.
Yes. Yes, Harry. And now I was resisting that because I'm very clear about who I am. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it didn't work on me. So he was very frustrated that that it wasn't working, that his manipulations weren't breaking me down. What they was doing was just really infuriating me. And so the harder I resisted, which I was unwittingly resisting because it just, it made no sense. Do you know what I mean? Like his behavior made no sense. So I couldn't go along with it. Like when he was suggesting, I was like, but that makes no sense. Or, when he would say some stuff, when he would talk in this gibberish manner and he would say these things, I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And let me tell you why, and I was like,
you were too intelligent, Babz.
In this regards, Harry, I'd have to agree.
Well,
Because
yeah, I
people,
mean, that is, that is a little problem when you try to break down people who are intelligent,
yeah,
because eventually the intelligence rises.
yes,
You could only keep somebody down for so long. Now, and this is not to criticize anybody, but those who are uneducated and who haven't lived beyond their cage don't
yeah,
know any better.
yeah,
So, but you know, you've allowed your mind to explore beyond this level. You've explored so far high, so high. So eventually, you have to rise to your intelligence. It's just a fact.
yeah,
That's why education and stuff is so important. The only way you rise is if you actually know how to rise.
yeah. That's real, Harry. That is very, very real. And as I think back about that time, I mean, it was a losing end game for him because he tried every kind of which way to break me, and and then he tried to play the well, I'm the man, I should be the head of the household. I was like, but brother, you're not working. I'm working. I'm paid well. Like, this is my house. And I remember he had said something about, I feel uncomfortable being in a house that you lived in with your ex-husband. I said, well, this is a house that I own. I bought this house. So unless you plan on buying me a house equally or better than this house, this is where I live. And I will live here until I'm ready to sell it. Do you know what I mean, Harry? Because he really thought I was just gonna give up my house and go follow him into some old Section 8 apartment. And I'm not knocking that. God help me. I'm not knocking that. But he wanted me to leave what I have created for some unknown foolishness where I would have to depend on him and his ability to provide. I'm like, but you're gonna provide less.
Yeah, but that was just part of the process, Babs.
I know it.
That was him trying to break you all the way down.
Yeah, it didn't work, but
Yeah.
you know,
It's,
I kept thinking the him that I knew would just show up eventually. It never did. That's probably why it was so hard for him for me to be broken, because I just was like, well, he'll be over this stupid part and then he'll get to himself. But the reality was, it was me um, imagining, seeing him who he was instead of seeing who he is. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't seeing him who as he was presenting. I was counting on the person I knew as a child. Do you know what I mean? Like, the him that was a child, not the him that's standing in front of me, a manipulative, lying man. You know. Woo!
and I just want to make something clear because I don't want to offend anybody. When I say Babs is intelligent, I'm not just talking about her book smarts. You have to allow yourself, no matter how low in life you are, you have to allow your your mind to expand. You can't just allow yourself to stay in locked up in a little box. Your mental capacity is so great. You have to allow that. Allow it to expand. So I'm not talking about if you're in a situation just because you don't have the education Babs has or something, you're still capable of expanding your mind. So
Yes.
and also one thing that Babs has is strength. So you have to dig in deep and find that strength. We all have it. We all are able to stand up. In the worst of situations, we're able to stand up, and everybody just needs to find that.
Yes. I agree. I agree. That's real talk, Harry. That is very real talk. So, yeah, so I think I'm in a really, and so now here comes my friend, and my best friend Ron. I got to know him. He is my best friend on the planet. Like, he is my great great love. And I met him because he was my neighbor, and he was such a beautiful man. I took the apartment next door to him because he was a beautiful man. I saw him come out of the apartment, And when the lady showed me the apartment, I was like, I didn't even see the apartment, Harry. I was like, well, I'll take it. She's like, but you haven't seen it. I was like, oh, I've seen all I wanted to see. I'll take it. Because he was the neighbor. and then we just became great friends over the years. And he was somebody he has taken care of me. He has been my friend. He has loved me through thick and thin. He has been, whatever I need. He has been my knight in shining armor. And he has been loyal to me and to my family without any, he's the kind of person, if I called him up and said, listen, I have a body in the car. I need to go. He's like, okay, meet me downstairs. I'll meet you downstairs in 20 minutes. He's like my bro. He's like beyond a brother to me, and he really was the first man who I had a relationship with that was probably the safest relationship I've ever had with a man, like the safest in terms of spiritual and mental and physical. I've just never had that before. And so it has been, it still is one of the best relationships of my life. He remains one of the best relationships of my life, and has made it possible for me to sort of be more of myself and to be the best version of myself. So he has really done that for me. And so meeting Andrew, who allows me to thrive in romance in the way that nobody else has allowed me to thrive in romance. Like Andrew has allowed me to thrive in romance in a way that nobody else has. He really has. And I love the time that I spend with him. This is what I love about Andrew. He'll call me up to do something that he wants to do and wants me to join him. Do you know that's a difference than Harry, than somebody saying, hey, do you want to do something? What do you want to do? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like that's a different level. I love when a man said, maybe that's old school, but I love when a man says, listen, I'm going to go do this thing. I would love you to join me. That means he was already going to do it, whether I do it or not. That's on his plan. And he's inviting me to share in that experience. Harry, I think that's the key right there. Not, let me just do something that she likes because I want to get next to her. I want to impress her. That doesn't impress me. What impresses me is you were going to go do that and you want me to come along.
It's wanting to share an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my wife does that all the time, Babz. She always tells me to go shopping with her. Well, I'm like, but I don't want to go shopping. Yeah, but I want you there. Okay.
I like when you say, okay. Because sometimes people need that.
Yeah.
They need that. They like to know that you're near. So that's what I love about Andrew, that he is as romantic as I am. That's what I like about him, that he is as romantic as I am. And so I allow him to be romantic with me, just as he allows me to be romantic with him. I love it. Do you know what I mean? Like I could do things with him, be worried or afraid or, or any of those things. I could invite him over for dinner and cook a romantic dinner with candles and the whole nine. And it's a safe space. Do you know what I mean?
Hi,
he's not going
this
to try
is
to like
Rawls-Ivy from New Haven, Connecticut, and you're listening to WNHHLP 103.5 FM, streaming live at newhavenindependent.org.
And Andrew has an adventurous spirit. I like that too, Harry. Like I like an adventurous spirit. He has an adventurous spirit, and he's smart. I like smart men.
He has to be.
I like smart. I do. I really do like smart men, Harry. I really like. I don't do well with men who aren't smart or well read.
Well, he has to be. He has to be adventurous. He has to be smart.
You
Part
know,
part part of his, you know. I don't want to say it out loud. Part of his thing.
part of the cover.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that.
I know, but he's so you know, Harry, I said to him, I asked him a few months ago when I had him over for lunch on the porch, and I said, how come you never considered dating me? I said, because you know we date, but how come we never really considered it? And he said, I don't want things to change between us. And so I was like, okay. There's no arguing that, Harry. Like there's no pushback on my part to say, well, why can't you consider me as a girlfriend, or why can't you not a girlfriend? I'm his girlfriend. Why don't you consider me as a lover, as a potential lover? How about that? That's a better use of language. Um, and there's no pushing back on that because I don't need to. I don't want to be in a position to convince him that I'm worthy or acceptable or available. Right? Like, there's no point to that. You see what I'm saying, Harry? Like, Andrew knows me. He's with me all the time. We spend a lot of time together. We've spent a lot of time together. We've done a lot of cool things together. If he had interest in me, that was of a not a romantic one, because we are romantic. If it was one of a physical, if it was a relationship that could go to being lovers, then I think that would have made itself known by now. But it's not. It's not that. So now that says, um, and it doesn't change how I feel about him or the stuff that I do with him. But what it does do, Harry, though, it's like one of those things. Like when I said, the guy said, it's one of those. It's like the string of words, Harry, propelled me out of the bubble. Do you know what I mean? So now I have to get out of this bubble and, like, oh, now I have to go out there and start dating so that I can get that part of it. So the next person I get, I take all of these things that I've gathered from all these men and then go out there and find it in that. Not all of it, because all of those things cannot be found in one person. But enough of those things can be found in that person to make me want to be with them.
Well, it's Andrew's an interesting guy, right?
He is.
And the psychology of a relationship is so complex, and you have to wonder. And I'm not going to psychoanalyze Andrew right now, but it is such, when you dig in deep, and I've dug in deep with me and my own relationship. But there's so many things that people fear about relationships. You got to wonder about Andrew. What does he fear? And stuff like that. But I'm not going to psychoanalyze Andrew. I won't do that.
Well, I mean, I will tell you this, that that what we have is very unique and very special. And I wouldn't want that to be ruined either. Because sometimes, Harry, you can start sleeping with somebody and what did he say? He didn't say the sleeping part. He said, when you have a girlfriend and a boyfriend, expectations show up, and I get that. I don't think that would happen with us, because I think we're very clear and direct with each other. At least I know that I am with him. But I understand. I understand that, because I had those same thoughts about him in the very beginning, when I was like, oh, I don't want to be his girlfriend, because, I've never been good at being people's girlfriends, because they have an expectation about me, and we say this in my group with the women that I roll with, Markeisha, Ife, and Benita. You like the idea of Babz, but the reality of Babz. And so And so, but that was like a couple of years back. But now I'm in this place where I really would do well with someone like an Andrew by my side, because I'm at ease. He makes me at ease in a way that nobody else makes me at ease. And it's him, but it's also the characteristics of him. So if I find the characteristics, these characteristics of all these people that I talked about, the good pieces of them, and just internalize those, then I think I will have a great love. That somebody will show up, Harry, and it'll feel good and real and strong and golden. It'll be all those things. I believe that. I believe all these things are leading me to that at just the right time. I don't feel pressed or in a rush or in a hurry. I just feel like I'm all the things that I want are starting to show up in other areas of my life. So I would imagine that a romantic interest is going to show up too, because I'm the best version of myself that I have ever been in this moment.
Do you know which actress said you go to sleep with? Was it Marilyn Monroe? You go to sleep with Marilyn Monroe, but wake up with,
Yeah, I think that was her, whatever her name was.
Yeah. Because I
Yeah.
just tried to look it up when you said that. I just tried to look it up on Google, and Google's confusing me these days.
I think you and Google have a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, because it just gave me stuff on sleep apnea and how masturbation affects sleep.
Okay.
It's like, what the hell is? I put the quote in. You give me the who said the quote. It's weird.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway,
You and Google.
yeah, me and Google. It takes me about 10 pages to find what I'm looking for. So there's a lot of people paying Google to advertise, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's killing me. Google's killing me lately to find the answers. but no, yeah. I mean, the thing is that you and Andrew aren't kids, right? So you guys, like you just said, you're your best self right now.
Yeah.
So think about that. You're your best self. You're your best self, Babz. You know how intimidating that is to someone?
Why? I don't, Harry. I don't think that I'm an intimidating person at all.
No, you should. This is what I'm saying. It shouldn't be. You know, you real should attract real.
Yes, Harry, that's what I'm saying. And it has, because guess what? He's in my life. We attract what we are, not what we want.
Right. You're right. Absolutely.
Right?
Whatever you put out, you get.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yes.
I like
Andrew. You like Andrew too?
Yeah.
I do too. I love Andrew. I enjoy him very much. He has given me a character map to move forward with how to be in a relationship. Like, the next love relationship I have, Harry, the next serious love relationship I have, I can never go back to what was. Yeah. He has given me a roadmap to move forward. Right. We call it the Andrew standard in our circle, Harry. If a man doesn't show up doing the bare minimums of what Andrew would do, then we already know they kick to the curb. It's the Andrew standard.
Right? He's showing you that you deserve.
Yes.
So it is a different standard, and you do deserve it.
I do. I'm not gonna fight you on that one, Harry. I'm gonna be in total agreement, Harry. I do deserve it. So it's not. I mean, it's nice that he has come along and has given me this wonderful gift of friendship and communion, the way that we are with each other. I mean, we are really good together. Really, really good together. So much so that people think we are a couple. I mean, we are a couple on a lot of levels. You know, we're just not sleeping together. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
but we get along well, like we do. You know, I love the way we talk with each other. You know, we talk all the time, and we have a good time.
I feel kind of left out of the group though. That you know,
What? What are you left out of the group for?
your
You're not
squad,
left out of the group.
your squad.
You part of it, Harry. What do you mean? You just don't hang with us, but you part of it.
Not like everybody in that group too.
Well, because you don't want to come hang out with us, Harry, but you don't have to. We love you. You roll with us. We reference you too all the time. We love. We talk about you and the way you and Karen are in your marriage. We talk about that too. We talk about how amazing that is, and all the work that you've done. You know, people are quite moved by your story and how you've changed your life. You know, and how you work at honoring your wife all the time. That's a beautiful thing to see. That's a beautiful thing. More men should be like that. And how vulnerable you are, you know.
Well, yeah, you have to allow yourself to be. You you have to open yourself up to that vulnerability so that you allow that other person in.
Yes. And that's really what you did. You allowed her in. And you didn't start out that way. You learned and then you behaved your way into it. So now that it is part of how you roll with her. You don't keep secrets from her and you're not afraid of her. And she could see you at your weakest moments.
Yeah, probably the only person.
Well, that's all right. You don't need 20 people to see you like that.
No, no, you're right. I only want, you know, it's for your eyes only, right?
Hey, I don't got no shame.
That's right.
I don't have no shame. A bunch of people can see me at my lowest point. A bunch of people have.
That's totally different, Babs. I have been in my psychologist's office with them trying to get me to open up with them. And my last psychologist was like the best one I've ever had, right? The other ones were just throwaways because, you know, people suggested, oh, you should talk to this person or this person. And I would sit down and I would feel not, you know, it's almost like like you were just talking about a relationship, right? So I would feel not intellectually challenged by that person sitting across from me. So it's a throwaway. You can't be my psychologist. I don't respect you. So it took a while, and now my last one, which I haven't seen in over a year since COVID.
Why?
Since COVID,
Oh, well, you can call them on the phone, Harry. You could do telehealth.
I know, but you know, I almost feel like I'm healthy enough not to need. But anyway,
Well, every now and again, just like your car, Harry, you got to take it in for a little tune up.
you're right. Every once in a while, I do
Right.
need.
You got to change the oil on your car. No car can roll without an oil change.
No, and this car,
Whether it's a Tesla or not, you have to have the oil change.
right, this car leaks every once in a while. So
So there you go. So you might want to call your mechanic and get a little tune up. Take her in for a little diagnostic.
yeah, so but you know that my last psychologist, which I really enjoyed, it's a little old lady who you would think could could actually sit across from me and have a conversation with me. And I don't know how she did it, but she was able to crack part of my safe.
Well, Harry, I sit and talk with you every single day. I feel like I've gotten to know you better and better and better and better and better.
Hey, I tell Karen all the time, talking to Babz is therapy. Some of it is therapy.
It is for me too. Listen, you think I do this show just for money? No, I do it because it's quite therapeutic.
Of course it is.
It's quite therapeutic. So when you see me out there trying to date, because I will be out there trying to date and momentarily. I think I'm gonna wait till after I get my hip surgery, I don't want to show up anymore with canes.
And probably after COVID, right?
Yeah, well, after after COVID, yeah, after COVID. So, but yeah, no, I'm gonna put it out there one more time. Um, and I feel like I'm ready to jump out there again. Watching Ife fall in love right now is a beautiful thing. It's inspiring. I mean, I'm already in love, right? So I'm not falling into anything. There's no falling for me. I'm already in love. I am love. Um, but to watch her be in love and to sort through her feelings, and how sometimes the past is prologue, right? Like to watch her um, to be in community with this man, and he shows up. Like this is what she did in Harry. She wrote down in her journal after this last relationship. She was in this last relationship that it wasn't a bad relationship, Harry, but it was it was mediocre. Do you know what I mean? Like it was. There's nothing wrong with it, but there was nothing good about it either. It was just like, well, whatever. So whatever. So she wrote in her journal, I just this, that, and the other thing. I'd like to have this, that, and the other thing. Man, I would really, this is what would set me on fire. And divine providence is such that somebody showed up in the most unlikely of ways and has ticked off all the boxes, has shown up in just exactly how she kind of conjured up. And it's so, sometimes, Harry, when you ask for things, you must be prepared to get them. So she's in that space. And it's a beautiful thing to see her allowing herself to be cared for and loved and tended to. Do you know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing to see a woman cared for. Like men don't get that part, how to care for a woman. And it's very small things. It's not, she's not, he doesn't need to buy her a car or anything. I mean, I guess he could, but the checking in and to, I want to see I don't just text. I want to see your face when I talk to you. So I FaceTime you because in the course of my day, I just want to put eyes on you. Right? That's a beautiful thing. Or, at the end of the night, I like to just say goodnight to you and talk to you. Or we like the same books, or we like this, that, and the other thing. Uh,
Yeah, and what do you call that, Babz, when you write out what you want? Um, what is it, a something wall or board? I forgot what it is. When you put what you want, out there, so that I forgot what it's called. People do it all the time where they write out what they want for themselves. Oh, I forgot what.
oh, you mean like on a board,
Yeah, what
like a manifest board? Um,
they call it something. I don't know. I know is one of the steps Oprah would do, where she would write out her goals and put them up, and you have to actually see, what you want for yourself in order for it to manifest itself. So it is a way that people go about their lives, writing what they expect to see in their lives, and it happens.
yes, people do it all the time.
But
Yes, yes, yes. People do it all the time. And now you made me forget what it's called, Harry, because I have a big giant one I did about
yeah,
15 years ago.
what's it called?
Um,
Oh my!
uh, 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 oh my God, a manifest board, a storyboard.
I forget Google. I just Googled it, and it gave me some weird.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just gave me an LCD wall. I'm not looking for a TV.
Oh, oh my God. Now you got me messed up, Harry. because now I can't think of what it is. Because the minute you said it, the um the more I can't uh uh
Oh my God, it's right on the tip of my brain.
vision board.
A vision board.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that drove me crazy. It was gonna drive me crazy too.
That's hilarious. Yeah, so I've seen and I've read where Oprah does it herself, and I've seen other people do it, and a lot of people put it right on their refrigerator or something so that they could see it every day, and where they're gonna be.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a good thing. I've never done it myself. Maybe I should start doing it.
Well, you start small, Harry. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It could be a very small thing, right? Like it could be a very, very small thing, um, and sort of see where it takes you. That's what I say.
I saw one where a guy drove by a mansion, um, and he took a picture of it. It was for sale. Took a picture of it and he placed it right on his refrigerator. And he said, "I'm gonna live in that mansion." And about a year and a half later, it was still for sale. And his success had grown such that he was able to move into that mansion.
Hmm.
So yeah, it works for people.
No, it does. I mean, I've done it. And you inspired me to sort of, so has Ife, inspired me to sort of get back out and start writing down these things again, and to revisit. When I was a blogger, I did a love list, 100 things of what I would want in a partner, and I think it's time to revisit that again. I think I need to go and revisit that, and I think I will.
Yeah.
I think I think I will. I think I will go back and look at that and see, what else I can, if you start speaking into existence what you want, you know, that's what I want to do. So I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna give that a roll, Harry, because I think now is the time. I think I'm ready. I think once, and COVID gives us a lot of time to think about these things deeply. And even the dating apps have changed for COVID, Harry. Now they're encouraging people to like have conversation because you can't really meet up with people. So they're inviting people to have these conversations, but not just on the phone, but to like FaceTime each other or Zoom date or some way that you can interact and see each other, so that it's more than a phone call, more than just texting, that it becomes, you know, as close as to live as you possibly can be.
Well, Dr. Fauci said that dating is healthy, and that you're two adults. So if you decide to chance, you know, within yourselves, two people chance, not being with a mask on a date, you're two grown adults. So he was saying it's different than you going out
Yeah, well,
and
yeah.
spreading it all over the place, but two grown adults by themselves is a totally different.
Well, I mean, there is something to be said for going to an outside cafe or somewhere, Harry.
Yeah.
I mean, although it's getting cold now, so not much more opportunity for that.
What's gonna happen with those restaurants, Babs, if
No.
it's getting too cold? You know, I was thinking because the only business a lot of these restaurants are doing are the patio and stuff like that. Um, I just wonder what's gonna happen. We've lost a lot of businesses, a lot of restaurants. It'll be
I
sad
know it's
to
God.
another, or like Biden called the dark winter.
I know, here we go with this again.
Yeah, I know. Don't bring that up, Baz. Why you brought it up? That dark side. And
That's you, Harry.
I saw Bill Gates yesterday, kind of talking about it. And it's his foundation who actually funded some of these programs where they have these models that test, how a society would handle these things. So, I mean, it's scary when you see people like that, like we were just talking about, speaking this stuff into existence. It's like, don't talk about stuff like that. Let's be optimistic. At least, a little optimism.
Yes. Yes. So, well, I don't know. I'm an optimist to my core anyway. I mean, this is not going to go on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Maybe maybe another year or two, Harry, but.
Wait. Who said it? I think, was it Fauci this weekend who said it could last to 2022?
Yeah, but other people have said it too. I mean, the Yale group that I'm in, they're saying easily, without question.
2022?
Without question. And if you're starting to see these numbers go up, yeah.
You just froze, so I missed.
Oh, did I? Oh, so as you see these numbers go up, yeah.
Wow.
Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That doesn't, make me feel good. Hey, Preston Wilson says, "Good morning, Babz."
Hey, Preston. He's so cute. How's his show doing?
His show is doing good. He's actually gonna, in early December, they'll go to 2 days a week. Monday and Friday, so they're gonna bookend the week. But their show is doing good. They have a lot of artists and people come on.
I have Sam tomorrow. I gotta send Sam the. Do you have Sam's email? If you don't, I'll send it to you. Yeah. I'll send him the login. I can just text it to him. Because it's the same, right? It's the usual.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's gonna talk me to death tomorrow.
Well, it'll be good to see Sam. I know you saw he's probably going to talk about his magazine, right? Tomorrow that he's done. I know. Did he interview you for that magazine, Babz?
No.
What did you sit down and talk to him?
For his show.
Oh, that was for his show.
Because he was doing music for what music are you listening to get you through this COVID?
Okay.
So that's what it was.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the Babz Rawls-Ivy edition of his new magazine.
Oh, just for the show, for his radio show. I'm no artist. I don't know why would I be in this magazine?
Babz.
What?
We showed him Sade. Remember?
That's true. That is true.
Have you ever heard of Sadie?
Yeah, he should. You should be in the whole magazine just for that. Right
now, he's like, don't ever repeat that again.
No, child.
Sam was something else. Who was it that he was always trying to sell us on? Migos. He compared Migos to the fame of Aretha.
And he goes, and I don't even listen to them anymore. I was like, really? I said, well, you did turn us on to them. He was like, and they were big. I was like, yeah. I said, but what are they doing now? I don't know what they do now.
Well, he compared them to the longevity of people like Aretha and other stuff like that. Like, come on. No, look, 100 years from now, people are still going to be listening to Aretha Franklin. I doubt that people are going to be listening to Migos 10 years from now.
Wait, Harry, I can guarantee you, ain't nobody going to remake a Migos song. Can you even remake a Migos song? What is a Migos song?
I don't know.
Isn't that Carly B's husband? Wasn't he in Migos?
A lot of noise. don't know. Maybe Cardi B. We'll find out tomorrow with Sam because we really none of us listen to any garbage music, so so we don't know. Migos, what the hell is that? Sounds like the gnats I spray every day. But it'll be good to watch Sam in action tomorrow. Little Sammy, I look at some of the pictures. He's growing into such, a man. It's like incredible. He came to us as scrawny, know nothing Sam, and now look at him. Unbelievable.
I know he was a kid.
I know, crazy. But it's good to see people that you kind of have a little influence on come back and show their success.
I know. He's already graduated from grad school, for God's sake.
I know.
I just feel like that time flew by. Didn't it go by so fast?
Really fast.
I was like, boy, what?
Really fast.
I don't know. That is crazy. Wow. Wow. What are you doing?
A bathroom break over here.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw on a little bit of music. Hopefully, Facebook doesn't knock us off because of it.
You know they are, Harry. But if you want me to stay and talk, I'll stay and talk.
No,
How far is your bathroom? Way down the hall, down the river?
It'll be like 5 minutes. We'll be back.
Okay, we'll be back.
Wheels keep spinning, wheels keep
to the morning light. Wheels keep spinning, wheels keep spinning, wheels keep spinning to the morning light. Spinning to the morning light.
Hi, this is Babz Rawls-Ivy from New Haven, Connecticut, and you're listening to WNHHLP 103.5 FM, streaming live at newhavenindependent.org.
Welcome back, people. You're listening to LoveBabz Love Talk with Babz Ivy and her sidekick, Harry Rose, aka the Brave. So, Babz,
Yes, my dear.
I know that you don't want to talk about the Supreme Court Justice, but I just want to mention her speech yesterday.
Oh, she gave a speech.
You know, well, it was a quick speech. So
now, didn't they get sick from being in the Rose Garden with her, right? Because her and
that was the last.
That's not a good sign.
That's the last super spreader event. But she got up, she thanked the president. Did she
shake his hand?
No, she didn't. But what I loved about it is that she thanked them for their support in the process, and then she said, "Okay, so let me explain to you the separation of powers.
Oh,
I don't work for you. I don't work." She said, "I don't work for the president. I don't work for the Congress. I work for the people. Although this isn't an elected position, I work for the people because it's their constitution." And then she just basically dropped the mic and walked off. I was like,
did everybody go like, what was that?
Yeah, I loved it.
They're like, uh-oh, did we make a mistake?
Yeah, I loved it. Because she said, I will not bring my personal beliefs into judging any law, any constitutional thing. It will be based on the law. She said,
do you believe her, Harry? I don't believe her.
Well, she said it would have been a
dereliction of duty.
Dereliction of duty for Congress, for the senators who voted against her, for them not to bring their policy positions into the vote. So she said, and it'll be a dereliction of my duty if I bring my personal feelings into my decisions, because a Supreme Court justice is the opposite of Congress that, brings in their feelings and their policy issues into any decision. I loved it because she separated herself from everybody and then said, bye, dropped the mic and left.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Harry? Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap.
Well, we'll
Talk
see.
is cheap. Yeah, listen, I'm with James Baldwin. I can't believe what you say because I see what you do. So I need to, in order for me to believe what she say, I gotta see her do something different.
Well, I agree. I agree, but I just love the fact that she separated herself from everything. Thanks, but you're not my boss.
Yeah,
Thanks, I don't work for you.
yeah.
Just loved it.
Well, we'll
Um,
see. I just need to see because they picked her for a reason, and we know what the reasons are. So if she's willing to throw off all these people off of medical care without another plan in place,
well, I think everybody has overreacted to that because
I don't think so, Harry. You see, now you're being naive about the
no,
way
no, no.
why
I
people
looked at
pick.
the case. I looked at the case, and it just doesn't seem like a strong case. I think even the conservative judges are going to throw that out. Um, so, and if you see a lot of the stuff that has been kicked back to the Trump administration from the Supreme Court, has been because they've brought forth very weak arguments against why they want to reverse something. So I think the same thing is going to happen with this.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe in a future case she might vote against it, but I don't think this case. I think this case is so weak, and they've done this before, where they bring forth. It's like they're arguing the case just to argue it for their constituents, the people who are voting for them. So it's almost like this case is just for this election
Mm-hmm.
and not because they really want to reverse it right now. And I don't think they really want to reverse it. I don't think they have a plan right now.
They don't have a plan. They never had a plan. But Harry, you have more faith than me, which is odd because usually the roles are reversed.
I just looked at the case and I don't think
Harry, usually
intelligent
I'm the
people.
one that's like, but Harry, I'm not.
I just don't think intelligent people would
I
reverse
don't believe them. I
something.
don't, Harry, I want to believe you. And this is, even me saying this to you is crazy because usually it's the other way around. Me telling you about the goodness of people and their hearts and minds.
But let's remember that the Chief Justice Roberts, he's the one that gave you Obamacare because he voted for Obamacare when it came up in front of them. So he's actually the
Yeah,
one.
but he's not as she, Harry, go back and read her. Go back and read her filings
I've read her stuff, and
and the pieces that she has written for
right, she
articles.
is she
She's
is against
a
the
lot of stuff.
the health care program that Obama put forth.
And she's got black kids, which is another trifling scary thing, but all right.
The thing is, though, it's the case that they put forth. Let's forget that people are against certain things. The case that they put forth is so weak. I suggest actually that people go read. They have synopsises of the cases all over the place, and you read it, and not even if you're being honest, not even a conservative person would be convinced.
Harry, I think you are giving these people way too much. You are being way. I don't. Who? Somebody? Did you go to the bathroom? Did somebody change out Harry? Do I need to go in there? Is this one of these Lovecraft Country moments where somebody is drinking a potion and it's not you?
I just maybe you're right. Maybe
Harry, you are.
in people being intellectually honest.
You are, and they're not, Harry. Harry. Oh, I appreciate your attempt at humanity and trying to see that these people are humane.
I'm just saying, I agree.
I know.
I agree with the left on this one.
I know.
Because it's such a weak case. Give me something that I can actually stand for, and then I'll stand with you. But this
Harry,
is not the case.
if that was the case, then they would have put a different Supreme Court justice on that bench. They put her. Why did they put her?
I know Trump's intention. That goes without saying. And I'm surprised I'm surprised that Justice Roberts actually took up this case. I'm
Well, maybe
surprised
they want to put it to bed, hopefully.
because it's such a
Because
weak
what they can do is send a clear message and say, stop sending this crap. But
right. Maybe that's what they're gonna do because it is a weak case.
I'm just hoping they say, strike it down and be done with it. But that doesn't stop them from the other 127 times they put this
No,
case
no, no. Yeah,
before.
definitely. I just think this case is gonna get knocked down. In the future, it could the Republicans could be successful, but this one, I don't think is the case.
The other day you posted up some soup. What was that soup, Harry? How did you pronounce that soup?
It's called Sachi Chung soup.
Okay. I was like, I don't know that soup.
And
who made it? Did you make it?
Well, Karen makes it all the time.
Oh, okay.
But we haven't been able to find they call it Puerto Rican salami, but it's not really salami. It's kind of like sausage / salami. It's just different. And we haven't been able to find it. Everywhere we go to buy it, they have the Dominican version or the Italian version. It's not the same.
Oh, you may have to come into New Haven, Harry, and go to one of the Puerto Rican markets.
Yeah, that's what Karen was saying. She's like, you were there last week. Why didn't you just go to one of the markets? I was like, forgot. Mm. But this soup is like spectacular.
And so you have to go. Ask Norma where the Puerto Rican, where the Puerto Rican markets are?
I haven't shopped in New Haven.
That's what I mean. I don't know the port, like, this is going to sound real racist, but I don't know the Puerto Rican markets from the Dominican markets. But you know what? That might be a good Tegan conversation. Like, that's a Tegan. Because, she go to all the markets.
That's a good Tegan show, right?
Yeah, like, Tegan, where's the Puerto Rican markets? Like,
no, but yeah, so it is. It's different. The markets are different. And I know the market we used to shop at when we were in New Haven, that got moved somewhere. So I got to find it because it is delicious. And on a rainy day, it's like the perfect meal. So that is delicious. You got to taste that, Babz. It's freaking delicious. I think, who's that guy who sells soups and stuff?
Ray.
He sells sancocho.
Eric Ray. Sancocho. Yeah.
He sells sancocho and all of that. I wonder if he has that on his menu. He should. So that's delicious.
I don't know. I don't recall that one. I thought sancocho was the only one, but
sancocho is delicious too. That's soup of basically vegetables, the root of vegetables and stuff like that. It's just freaking delicious. Those soups are incredible.
Soup's on.
I've been wanting Sachi Chung soup for a while. But like I said, they sell these weak versions. Like Goya sells the Sachi Chung, but it's a miniature version of it that tastes different.
Okay. Well, it's a canned soup for the masses.
No, not canned soup. They sell the sausage.
Oh, okay.
But it's different. It's just different. It's not the same as the Puerto Rican style Sachi Chung.
Well, you gotta find your Puerto Rican market.
Yep.
That's all. That's just, you know where to go. Just drive down, Grand Avenue over the ferry and look around.
No, that's not the way to do it.
Oh, no, what do? You gotta ask somebody?
Yeah, you gotta ask somebody.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a normal conversation then.
Probably.
Right? She's Puerto Rican. She knows where the markets are. Her or her 20,000 sisters.
That's true. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna call her and tell her if she knows where to buy, just buy me a couple, and I'll reimburse her.
Yeah, that's all you do. Shoot, I know she know where all the markets are because I know they're still cooking old school over there. At least if nothing else on Sundays when she gotta feed her mama and them, or her peoples, they get together.
And the thing is, Babz, if you look it up, the Sachi Chung is just so different in all of the different little Latin cultures. They all make it different. So it's like, I mean, the Dominican one that you find everywhere, unfortunately, sucks to me. So
I'm not getting in that fight. I don't want Dominicans running up on me talking about Harry. I'm like, listen, I am neither Puerto Rican or Dominican.
you could be. You could be.
I could be. I could be. I could be indeed. I could be. So, all right, we gotta go. Tomorrow, Sam Hadelman is on talking about his magazine. He's on at 10:15.
All right.
Okay.
We will see you tomorrow.
We'll be back. Deuces.